Hello, friends. Welcome back to the Iyah Iyah Perspective podcast, where we speak truth to power, unfiltered, unbought, and unafraid. Today, I'm speaking straight from the heart about a statement that should anger every honest African. The African Union Commission has just rejected what the United States called a Christian genocide in Nigeria. The African Union says Nigeria's violence affects everyone, which is true, that it's about banditry, extremism, and resource conflict, which is a lie. It's so economic lie. But let's get real. That's a lazy and a dishonest cop out. Let's call it for what it is: selective outrage and institutional hypocrisy. For over a decade, northern Nigeria has been burning in Plateau State, in Benue, in Kaduna, and southern Borno, where entire Christian communities have been wiped out, men slaughtered, women and children displaced, churches burnt down to ashes. Innocent worshippers have been killed in their sanctuaries. From the 2018 St. Ignatius Church massacre in Benue to the old church attacks in Ondo State in 2022. Yet, the African Union never called a single emergency session, never condemned the atrocities, never sent an observer team to Nigeria, never spoke to the victims. But now that the United States speaks up, suddenly the African Union finds its voice to defend the government and downplay the sufferings of victims. You see, friends, that's the problem with the African Union. It's never on the side of the people. It's a union that protects despots. It shields sit-tight rulers across Africa and polishes the image of failed regimes. Look around. When coup d'etats happen, they issue statements. But when citizens are massacred by terrorists or their own security forces, the African Union does what? It goes mute. How can an institution that stood silent during genocides in Darfur, in Tigray, and in the Democratic Republic of Congo claim moral authority to dismiss what's happening in Nigeria? How can it claim to represent Africans' conscience when it's afraid to confront power itself? Let's be honest, friends. This isn't about defending Nigeria's image. It's about defending complicity. The African Union doesn't want to offend member states, especially the politicians, even if it means betraying the victims. That's not diplomacy, that's wickedness disguised as policy. And it's not just Nigeria alone. Across Africa, people are being failed by the very institutions meant to protect them. From Cameroon to Sudan to Equatorial Guinea to Gabon, from Congo to Ethiopia to Somaliland. The African Union speaks of African solutions, but all we see are African silences. Friends, when people are being persecuted for their faith, their ethnicity, or their voice, neutrality becomes evil, while silence becomes violence. The statement of the AU chair is of violence against innocent Christians in Nigeria that he or his representative have not spoken to. They haven't been to any part of this country to find out. They rely on what the government is telling them. So the African Union chairperson and the commission, I say respectfully to you, but firmly, you have lost credibility. You don't speak for the ordinary African. You speak for presidents and politicians who have lost touch with their own people. The blood of Nigeria's Christian cries louder than your denials. The world sees it. The victims live it. And history will remember who stood silent. Mr. Mahmoud, you lied without conscience. You lied with impunity. because you've not spoken to any Christian victim. You've not even you have not even had to visit any part of the Muslim north that the people have been killed. The truth is that the Christians are saying there's a genocide against us, and there are receipts to show for it. There are receipts to show for it. Africa doesn't need a union that protects rulers. Africa needs a union that protects lives of Africans, be them Muslims or Christians. You can't push back. You are not in a position to push back. You are from Djibouti. You know the problem of Somalia, Somaliland, in Puntland, in Ogaden. Most of my best friends in life are Somalians. And I know how you failed your people in East Africa. So I say, shut up. My name is Iyah Iyah. And as always, I am here to speak what many are so afraid to say. Because silence in the face of injustice is itself a crime. I want you listeners, my friends, to stay conscious and stay bold. And don't forget to also stay African. Friends, you've been listening to my perspectives. I want you to share this episode and let's keep the conversation alive because Africa deserves better than what we have in Addis Ababa called the African Union, where it's always about job for the boys. They've been silent when these killings have been going on, but they want to find their voice by riding on the back of what President Donald Trump has said. Yes, we do not need the American to remind us of our pains, but the president spoke the heart of the victims, the United States of American president. So please, the African Union, you can stay united in your confraternity of protecting governments and head of states, protecting sit-tight rulers across Africa, and please be quiet and leave us alone. Until next time, I say thank you and bye for now. Bye.